Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, a PlayStation podcast. My name is Andrew Muggleton and I'm, as always, joined by my wonderful co-host Chris Sloan.
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year. Is that what we're going to discuss?
Game of the Year 2019. What was the best game of 2019? We will find out.
Yeah.
But first.
Why?
Yeah. Lily.
Yes. Oh,
how's she doing? So when we
she do well.
When we last left Lily, she was in a place called Ostagar.
Yep.
She'd met a guy who was a king called Kalen.
Mm-hmm.
She met Kalen's assistant called Loghain.
Yep.
And she was with Duncan, who is the kind of leader of a group called the Grey Wardens.
Kind of magic-y guys, are they?
No. Well, yeah, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
And you are sort of going to be set off on a kind of trial for the Grey Wardens, and in order to do this, you've been introduced to two other people. Now these are both human men, and one of them is, you can tell, a magic user. Yeah. And one of them is he's got a big long bow on his back, and you think, this guy's got a couple of knives on him. Mm-hmm. Probably like a sort of rogue, like a ranger kind of character. Yeah. And all I want you to do for this part is to, firstly, you're gonna like name these two characters. Yeah. And you're also gonna say how does Lily kind of introduce herself to them? What's the kind of first impression they're gonna get of Lily? Because you're about to go and do this trial together as a. So
the three of us are going to do this trial. Yeah. Do I have any indication as to whether I am going to be competing against them or with them? Or do I not know that yet?
No, you don't know that yet. No.
Okay. So the first guy, the magic guy, his name is going to be. Do you just want first names?
Yeah, just first names is fine.
Philip, but with one L. Okay. Is that normal, or do Philips normally have two?
I think it's normally got two.
Yeah, cool. So we'll go Philip with one L, and the guy he's got a dagger. Did he have?
Yeah, I've got him as a ranger.
A ranger person. Yeah. The ranger is going to be called Lionheart.
That's his first. Is that his first name?
Yeah.
His first name is Lionheart.
Yeah. His second name is Alex.
Okay, cool. Great.
Philip doesn't have a second name.
He's Philip.
He's known as the Philip.
Okay.
That's his like is it a prefix, like a Mr. Mrs.? Yeah.
So the Philip and Alex. Sorry, not Alex. No, Lionheart Alex. Yeah.
Wait. His surname is. It's actually. No, it should be the other way. His first name is Lionheart, comma.
Oh, right. Okay. Great. So you are introduced by Duncan to. So this is Philip and Lionheart, comma Alex. Yeah. Men, this is the latest recruit. This is Lily.
Do I have any sort of abilities at this point?
You're just a very low level warrior.
So, okay, because my intention was to use like a Libra type of thing, so I could assess.
Certainly not.
Okay. I'll immediately introduce myself as Lily. I'll shake their hands. Each time I do it, I kind of drop my head down a little bit and squint a tiny bit at their eyes. So kind of a little inquisitive.
Okay.
Not sure who you are, but I'm going to shake their hands. I'll shake Lionheart first, and I'll make it a fairly strong, so he knows that I'm the woman. Yeah. Then I'll go up to the Philip, and I'll shake his hand. But as I do that, I'm gonna kind of like, when people go to like a ball and they dance and they spin people around. I'm gonna almost force him to do that to me.
Okay.
So we're having a little dance. As I do that, I'm going to attempt with my left hand to put it into his pocket and see what's in there.
You're trying to steal something.
Yeah.
I'll say that works because like he's so like taken aback by the fact that you've done it.
I'm blushing as well.
Yeah. Was that Philip?
That was the Philip. Yeah.
The Philip he's got 2 gold coins and let's say like a sling.
Okay. I'll take the coins, leave the sling.
Cool. Okay.
And immediately when my hand comes out of the pocket, I'll just throw them as far as I can, like a discus.
So hey, it's my coin. The Philip sort of like scuttles over to go and collect the coins.
Okay. At that point, I'll move up to Lionheart and say, "Now that he's out the way, let's talk."
Okay. Duncan interrupts you. he's
him just standing behind watching, like,
where's the Philip gone?
What are these people?
And he says, the first part of your trial to become a Grey Warden is you must go into the forest here in Ostacar, and you must bring me back 3 vials of blood. And that's where we'll finish for today.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do next.
Cool. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Right. Well, now that we know how Lily's doing and how she's progressing, as you said earlier, we should talk. It is now officially for us 2020. I can see clearly now because it's 2020.
I get it because of vision.
The joke.
A vision joke.
That all the jokes are coming thick and fast.
Also, we both wear glasses.
And we both wear glasses.
So we neither of us have 2020 vision.
Yes, exactly. So now we looked forward towards this year. We should now cast our eye back over 2019.
Cast our glowing eye of Sauron.
And rate with a number how good every single game was that we played last year.
No.
69.
Every game.
69. Every game, 69. No, let's just have a little talk about a couple of games that we played, our favourite things, and what we would personally pick as our favourite game of the year.
Excellent.
And I like to use the word favourite now instead of best.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's the way forward in life.
Why don't you?
Shall I kick us off?
Kick us off.
So 2019. So I've been looking over the decade actually at all the games I've played. 2019 has got to be one of the shortest lists of games that I've played. Now I don't know whether that's just a change in my lifestyle as well. I don't know whether there's just less games that have been interesting to me. But there's a couple on here. One is A Plague Tale: Innocence. That for me was a pretty fantastic game. It's made by a small team in France. There's I think we spoke recently about rumours that there might be a sequel to it coming out. And it's set in roughly when the Black Plague was going on in kind of rural France, and the setting was one of arguably the best thing in this game for me. I've never felt so... I don't really know how to describe it. I've never felt so like in a location as I did, and I think that's just part of how they. It's a beautiful looking game, and it's. I believe they made their own engine for it as well, and it really works well. It's fairly simple mechanically. It's kind of a bit of stealth, a bit of very light combat related stuff, and a lot of moderate to simple puzzle solving. But the setting, the characters, and the kind of the arc they go through, all to me was top notch compared to a lot of other things I played, and I think it kind of surprised me as well because it's really dark, like really desolate at times, and the music and the way the visuals come together, it really compounds that idea and of this kind of just unrelenting force of the Black Plague and stuff, and there's some other nefarious stuff going on, but I just felt the atmosphere it was trying to create, it nailed it, and would highly recommend to anyone who likes a kind of third person atmosphere-y, story-ish based game with a bit of light kind of action and puzzles and things like that.
The only thing that's stopping me.
Okay. Well, I was trying to assess your face then to see how many levels of sarcasm we're going to come into this.
Well, the only thing that's stopping me from really like playing, because it's on a couple of offers, isn't it? On.
Especially just recently. I think this January sale on the PSN, it's down kind of half pricey.
So it looks good. Obviously, you've said it's really good. It's made it into your list of like top games you played this year.
Yeah.
Just call it a Plague Tale.
I knew
just
that.
Call it a Plague Tale.
That was coming.
Like, that's it. Like, why give me that colon? Why saying colon innocence? I don't care. Just call it a Plague Tale.
I can only assume it's so that there's a Plague Tale Redemption or something like that. Yeah. But even then, you could have called it a Plague Tale 2.
A Plague Tale Zero Dawn. I'm going to kick off. I've got two of my games that I want to just very briefly mention that aren't even on a PlayStation platform.
What?
Oh my gosh. First one, I think you've got as well as Telling Lies.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I played that. It's quite a while ago now when I actually played
I think you played it when it came out, didn't it?
Yeah, I think pretty soon after it came out.
Was around E3 or just after E3? No, because there was an E3 trailer. I think it was in August.
Yeah, I think it was in the summer. Yeah,
end of August or something.
Really cool. Obviously, you can get it on Steam. You're not going to see it on a console. And part of that is because the whole way the game is played is via a search engine on a
keyboard.
Hacked. Yeah. You need your keyboard basically. I would probably rather kill myself than play it with a PlayStation keyboard.
Yeah. I know that her story came to things like Android and iOS.
Yeah.
It might already be on. I think it actually is. Or at least I think I checked on my iPad and it's definitely on there. But yeah.
And obviously there's like a big mystery that you're trying to solve, and not quite the same style of like whodunit as a kind of a whodunit of her story, but there's a big mystery involved. But the best thing about it is there's a sort of core cast of about there's a core cast about 3.
Yeah.
But the core cast about 4.
There's 4,
but then there are other people that sort of come into the story. But everything is real life recorded and real life actors acting, and all the performances are incredible. And that's one of the main things to really sell it, is saying that all these people that are acting are absolutely phenomenal in it.
Yeah.
It's also really unique in the fact that every video that you see is one half of a conversation of done via like FaceTime or video call, whatever.
Because that's interesting, because at some points you are just sitting there watching like a 2-minute video of someone just staring at a screen.
Yeah. And someone could just be
facial reactions, and
someone sat there and they're sort of like nodding and then at the end it might just be, okay, yeah, right, all right, bye, and that's it. And you're like, okay, I have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
Really cool. One of those games that makes you feel really clever when you work something out. You realise what search term to use to find the next piece of the story. And it's one of those games as well that you'll see the story, but you'll see it in a totally weird order, and really cool. Yeah, really inventive way to make a game.
Definitely. No, I'd 100% agree with that. I hugely enjoyed that as well. I would also like to talk about Control, which I think I played pretty quickly after it actually came out. This is a really cool game. I think let me start on like my only overriding kind of negative of the game was that it is like utterly bonkers. Like the story in the game is interesting as it's going along, but it's like so weird.
Do you think that would cause a lot of people to switch off, like if they bought it and then?
Yeah, I think so. Because it is like arguably like kind of obtuse with its story, and kind of slowly dropping little things, and then even by the end I kind of am like, right, I know what just happened, but I'm not really sure overall picture what's happened.
Yeah.
Kind of. So that's definitely a barrier of entry kind of to the game. However, what it did for me was it kind of gave me my Spider-Man-y feeling from like the year before, Spider-Man last year? Or the year before that?
2018? Yeah.
Yeah. 2018. In terms of like basically feeling like a superhero. You can fly around, you can pull bits off the wall at people, all with your powers. It just feels so fun to play in, kind of wacky and wild and kinetic, and it's also artistically like the visuals of the game are pretty wild, really cool looking, kind of a lot of block colors, and interesting stages, and I that to me was the main part about it is just how much fun it was to play.
Yeah, again, I didn't play a Plague Tale. I've not actually played Control either. I just feel like you'd probably get a lot of time to notice how good all of the visuals are, wouldn't you? Because of where it just freezes all the time.
Exactly.
No.
I'm
being very negative.
No,
very negative
so
there,
supposedly it's pretty decent now. As in
really?
Pretty okay.
Cool.
When I was playing it after maybe only 1 or 2 patches, like 100%, if I was like in quotes reviewing that game, like I would have to be like, there's some serious stuttering issues in this game, and it didn't always, because generally one thing that you miss or you don't hit or you get hit by doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
I just wonder though, because I feel like more. I don't know if I'm wrong here or not, but I feel like most PS4s in the world are probably just PS4s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than the PS4 Pro or whatever. And then obviously on Xbox as well.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, and I don't know if it's still bad on base.
I think it's better. I don't think it's fixed. Like, it's not like perfect, but I know that it is significantly better than it was.
But I think it would say something to how good the game is. Because didn't Polygon give it Game of the Year or someone?
IGN.
IGN gave it Game of the Year. So that's
yeah.
crazy. That's like the biggest gaming website, and even with the issues that it had, they still gave it the whole Game of the Year. So interesting.
Yeah, and I think,
but they're obviously just paid to, weren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remedy were like, wow, we haven't sold enough of these games.
Chucking them dollars.
Yeah. They that was one of the first, like, this game probably is a next gen game, but came out a year earlier type of thing. Like, I know on computer people say that with kind of ray tracing and stuff like that, it's kind of like the poster child for the best implementation of ray tracing and stuff. So it's a very futuristic game in the tech that it uses, which maybe is a bit too futuristic for currently.
Yeah.
But I'd still hugely recommend it, even if it's bonkers. There are moments in it where you feel like you're going through a action version of like the wildest episodes of Twin Peaks. Like, there are some scenes which are just like straight ripped out of David Lynch's mind and then shoved into a game. It's amazing at certain set pieces. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I mean, the thing is, all my games and stuff that we've talked about a little bit
of course,
in the recent episode of the podcast. But the other one that I'll just quickly mention is Mario Maker 2.
Yeah,
it's another one of the big games to play this year. Again, I never even really got around to trying out creating my own levels, which is quite bad. It should really, but just actually playing even just the single player or searching for like the most popular courses or whatever and levels. It's just really fun.
Yeah,
and it's amazing how inventive some people got with the constraints of that game and how to actually make levels in it. So really cool time spent with that, and also really cool watching people do it as well, whether just on YouTube or. I
was just gonna say, I think you made a comment to me. I think at some point we were just chatting, and I was saying about I feel like what this year was lacking was a big Nintendo release. You're like, oh, what about Mario Maker 2? And I was like, oh yeah, and you were like, that's probably one of the most watched games I've seen. I've watched that game the most, and I was like, I probably have to agree with that. I've watched so much Mario Maker 2. It's been so much fun to watch as well. Yeah, just people doing utterly ridiculous things,
and that maybe like makes me a little bit more optimistic about dreams in a way. If it can be done in a similar way of like, look at this weird level that I made, or that's the hope, is that you can see the success from Mario Maker 2 and hope that will be recreated with Dreams. Yeah. Who knows? Obviously, Mario Maker's got it's Mario.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's the second one. People know already what it's like and what it can do. No, definitely for sure. So I have kind of 2 games that I'd really want to talk as my favourite things of the year. Another, just a couple of touchstones were, sorry, I tell lies. Crash Team Racing came out this year, which I played so much as a kid and was like, oh, I love this game, and then I thought I'd never play it again, and they did a remake of it and it was wonderful to play. So it was really nostalgic playing that. We played a bit of Apex Legends earlier in the year. It's not generally our kind of thing, but
no, it was fun at the time.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
When it was brand new, before everyone could just like
become amazing and shit on us. Played the first couple of hours of Resident Evil 2, and I just totally understand and appreciate everyone's love for that game. I would love to finish it at some point. It is pretty scary though, and I think I'm all right with scary games, but I'm not like amazing. I've still never ever finished Amnesia,
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I've got on here, game called Grindstone, which is on Apple Arcade.
Cool.
And it's basically like a kind of like a Candy Crush game,
Right.
but like way more mechanic kind of base. So you've got to do various different things. It's got a really cool art style. It's made by I think Cappy Games, who have done a couple of other like console games previously. And yeah, I think those are the main games that new. The important thing is to say new games I've played this year, because I've platinum Final Fantasy 15 this year. I'm on my way to platinum The Witcher 3 this year. So yeah, played a couple of old games that have been in the back catalogue.
Well, that's the thing, because like, I've played probably the game that I've put most time into this year in 2019 was probably Persona 5.
Yeah,
and I'm enjoying that game so much. Also, obviously, Witcher 3, which I finished the other day. Played all of like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Yeah,
and I feel like I played all of them, and then I've played a few of the new releases. For example, 2 other games on my list are Outer Worlds and obviously Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order recently, which we've talked about a lot. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, because obviously you'll know if you've listened to it that my experiences with those 2 were positive on the whole. Yeah, but kind of like
maybe
didn't blow me away.
Not
like,
very
at all.
Positive type of
thing.
Yeah.
Like if this was a game of the year, like it was this, with the sort of releases we had in 2017 or 2018. Those 2 games wouldn't meet anywhere near my top games in those years. So the fact that they're probably like 3rd and 4th on my list this year of games that actually came out, because like compared to things like Arkham Asylum, City, Persona 5, Witcher 3, like they're nowhere near as good as those games.
No, for sure.
But I've got 2. I think you've got 2 as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
That stuck out the most to me, and mine are quite small games, really.
Yeah.
So one is one that we talked about very recently, which was the Goose Game, Untitled
Goose Game, of course.
Just obviously, I think that's probably going to stick with me the most this year, just because it was so funny. Like if you can make a game that's a few hours long, and has really simple but well designed levels and areas, you can get that sort of recognition. I know it obviously came late, played it late, because it obviously came out on PlayStation only in December, but everyone who was playing it on PC and Switch and everything before, you know,
genuinely hilarious as well.
So funny,
genuinely laugh out loud, funny moments.
And it's not like it's, you know, there's some games like parts of Outer Worlds are a bit like this, and not that I've really ever played with them, but my generic feeling about Borderlands games is that they're trying very hard to be really funny and make you laugh. Whereas this game just puts you in the flippers of a goose. And says, go and annoy these people, and it's just inherently funny.
Be a dick.
Just go and be a dick. And I think that I wouldn't give that my personal favourite game of the year, because I would save that for something else. But
it was a great experience. And I would agree, actually.
I preferred my time with Untitled Goose Game as a whole than I did with Outer Worlds and Jedi Fallen Order, for sure. Even though it was only a fraction of the time of those other ones.
No, and I don't have it on my list here, only because I made this list before I played it. But that would be on there, and I would have mentioned it, because it was a very joyous experience. For sure, definitely. So my runner-up, as we are probably going with, is Metro Exodus, and that for me was the culmination of Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light obviously came out quite a few years ago, and they were, I don't feel that there's that many first-person narrative shooters. I don't think there's a wealth of opportunity there with them. And Metro, for me, those 2 games were that, and that's why I love them so much. I think their atmosphere is incredible, the atmosphere it builds in those games and the locations you're in. So I love those games a lot. They announced Metro coming out this year, and it's a semi-open world version of it. And I was kind of a bit like, oh no, I love being in those horrible metros and dark, dank places with horrible monsters coming at you. Is that going to ruin it? And the answer was absolutely not in the slightest. It was arguably just even better. It was the culmination of everything they learned, with a combination of many tight spaces and horrible claustrophobic levels, with also some amazingly detailed, huge open places to just go and kind of traverse and make your way around. Again, the story is good. It's enjoyable. The cast of characters are fantastic. It's unbelievably good looking as a game. So good. And similar to how I kind of felt for Plague Town, I think this is just becoming something which I'm enjoying more and more in games, is the location and atmosphere and feeling that you're part of that world all melding together. That's becoming more and more important for me, I feel. And Metro did that so well. Even just down to the way you swing your bag off your shoulders and you open it up to do some like changing of weapons and stuff. And the detail on his hands and stuff like that. It just feels like you're actually in that world. And it's still really scary at times, still exhilarating. And I love it so much. Really, really enjoy it. Yeah.
I think as well, we do need more like narrative shooters.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with this, and no one's talking about Metro Exodus. No one's mentioned it at all in like games of the year.
No, yeah.
I think the problem is because it went open world. I think you can almost, like a lot of people maybe almost just sort of went, oh, it's just an open world first person shooter.
Yeah.
Instead of being like,
it's still a very narrative based.
Yeah.
It's like it's linear in its story completely, and really the way you do stuff, you just have big open levels. Like it's very like semi-open world. I think it was easy to get caught up in thinking that it's open world when it's not actually in the slightest.
Yeah.
You're going through. There's maybe like 3 big areas which you can traverse through, and then there's lots of smaller kind of condensed levels. And yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons why it won't get mentioned in kind of Game of the Year stuff. Came up very early in the year, which I think naturally people begin to forget about it. It's not. It looks big budget, and 4A Games do an amazing job of making these games look incredible, but they're still like not a AAA kind of studio in the same regard as some other people. So it's easy to overlook it. It's Russian kind of, so it's almost also not an American setting and stuff, which to me is much more interesting, but to the vast majority of people will be less interesting.
Plus, they probably don't get the money to pay off IGN and all the rest to get a Game of the Year, which is how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we'll find out that actually they sent loads of money in previous years to do reviews or something like that.
Exactly.
But it didn't work this year, but it did for me, so I love it.
But who did work? So who's been lining my pockets?
What developer has been
with bribery and money and
because we all know whatever you're about to say and then what I'm going to say after, the sales of these games are about to skyrocket.
Of course.
So I've already bought shares in my company. I hope you have.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good.
So my favourite game of the year is a game that didn't come out in 2019.
Yes.
So my favourite game is Life is Strange 2.
Yeah.
And it came out originally towards the end of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally finished in December 2019.
Yeah.
So I played most of it in 2019.
Yeah, it's a 2019 game. It deserves to be considered for this year.
I don't really know what else I can say about it. We talked about it only like a couple of episodes ago, I think. It's really good. It's an episodic game. You play as a brother. Your little brother has special powers. And you're kind of on the run. You're on the run for the whole time, trying to get to the Mexican border. And like I think I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, it's so well done in terms of how your little interactions that you might not think are super important are having an effect and influencing your brother, and how that will eventually get you some of the specific endings towards the end of the game.
I quite like what with that, in that if influencing him, you can kind of see things happening, and then by the end, it will have an impact, kind of on what you've done. Instead of being, right, you did this, and then we're going to wait 4 episodes, and at the end, it's going to go, by the way, do you remember when you did this? This is the impact. Instead of like it's happening all the time, and it's constantly you're carrying around those decisions because it's through your brother they're happening.
Yeah,
I quite like that idea.
Yeah, it's not like because you did a specific thing in episode 2, you're shut off from.
It doesn't flash back to it and go, you did this.
It's a culmination of
Yeah.
this choice and this choice and this choice.
Yeah.
Got you to this point.
Literally walking around with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it helps as well. Obviously, Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, 2 of my favourite games that I've ever played, really, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously, I was really hoping that this one would live up to it, and I think it does. I still prefer probably Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, but 2 very, very good.
Yeah.
Really good. And obviously now that it's all out, you can play it from beginning to end within the space of like 10 hours, I think, for all of it. Really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. So definitely my favourite game of 2019. Life is Strange 2. Well done.
I've bought it.
Nice.
It's in my purchase history. So I will definitely get around to that, hopefully before this spring kicks off with a ridiculous amount of games. And I'm sure it will come as no surprise that my favourite game of this year was Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima's first game away from Konami, and with Sony kind of helping it, or Guerrilla helping in. Finished it a little while back, and it is a wild journey in every sense whatsoever. It's weird, fun, boring, sloppy, amazing. It's just everything that's good and bad in games.
Sexy?
Good question, actually.
Is it a sexy game?
So it's probably compared to MGS games, which I would say like are pretty sexy at times.
Yeah.
This is definitely less.
Okay.
It is still a bit sexy, but it's less sexy. There's no quiet in this.
Oh,
there's no that aspect to the game. But there's a lot of Norman Reedus's butt.
Okay, that is sexy.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's more sexy actually because there's a lot of his butt.
Would I be right in saying as well that you can just, if you wanted to, you could have as much butt as you wanted?
Yeah, you could just keep on. There's a shower in his room.
Yeah,
and you can just keep on showering.
See, that's kind of like, hey, you want sexiness?
Yeah,
the well is open.
And I was just about to say that. In the cutscenes it's less sexy, but actually he's naked in a lot of those cutscenes as well. So right, I've said it's less sexy because I am not Norman Reedus's butt way inclined.
Okay.
But if you are inclined in his butt, if you have reclined in his butt, then you will find this game significantly more sexy than previous Hideo Kojima games.
But what I would say as well is that I think it's probably more gratuitous in the sexiness because obviously Norman Reedus, you don't need to have all those butt shots.
Sure.
Whereas
is it more gratuitous?
Whereas in MGS5,
oh, sorry, I see where you're going.
Quiet,
yeah,
she has to be half naked
because she breathes photosynthesis.
Exactly. So it's explained through the lore.
Exactly, that's very true.
I haven't played. I've played about an hour of Death Stranding, but I have not seen any lore yet.
Yeah.
As to why I'm forced to look at his butt cheeks so often. And I think, so I've played about an hour of Death Stranding and I've probably about at least 45 minutes or so of that was spent looking at his naked body.
Yeah, exactly. So that tells you what the beginning of the game's like. So if you like the Norman Reedus butt, get in there.
Kind of annoyed though, because you know you can, if you try and like get the camera around to like look at his willy.
When he's weeing.
When he's doing a wee.
Yeah.
He gets all annoyed.
He doesn't like that.
Come on, mate. You've seen everything. We've pretty much seen everything else.
Yeah, that is true.
Don't get shy now.
Yeah, true. Very, very, very true.
Lay it all out.
The game. Yeah, for me, I think I clocked in around just over 60 hours or so. I think I spent about 35 of that at one point, just in one section of the game, doing no story-related stuff, just building roads and zip lines everywhere. But I think it's a weird game in that it has some of the best stuff Hideo Kojima's done, and it for sure has some of the worst stuff he's done in a game. There are some scenes and lines of dialogue which I kind of had to lay the controller and I'm like, what is this? What are you doing? Like, how could you have written this? And then there's the ending, kind of 2.5 hours of the game, which is just pretty much non-stop phenomenal. I can't believe how strongly this game finishes compared to a couple of other weird bits in the game. But that strong ending really did bring it all together for me and left me very satisfied with the game overall. And I think I don't think I want to see a sequel. I mean, by all means, there could be.
Yeah.
As there can be with pretty much any piece of media now. I don't think I want to see a sequel. I think I want this to just stand as this one thing and then move on to the next bit of storytelling. But yeah, I can't stress enough. Like the gameplay, I think actually does a really good job of making it interesting and fun, even though all you're doing is basically walking around. The story starts very story heavy. Then for the middle section, you're basically just doing lots of gameplay stuff. And then by the end, the ending is so solid. It's some of the best things I've seen Kojima do. And some of the best scenes I think he's, like, in quotes, directed. So yeah, I really do love it. There's just a couple of things where I'm like, what are you doing? But that kind of adds to the enjoyment of it all, I suppose. So yeah, that is my favourite game of the year. So,
I've picked my favourite game of the year, which is Life is Strange 2.
Yep.
Andy has obviously picked Death Stranding, his favourite game of the year. So it's now comes down to me.
Yes.
To unveil the first ever official Bomb Squad game of the year for 2019. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this before.
No, we haven't. This is just me. It's just me doing it. You ready?
Yeah.
So the official Bomb Squad game of the year 2019 is... Get on that battle bus. It's Fortnite. Woo! Fortnite game of the year.
Yeah, boy.
Woo!
We're back. Season 2. Let's go.
Season 2.
It's
smashing.
Season 10, actually, isn't it?
Smashing. Is it?
Season 10, but I think it was like Act 2 or whatever they called it. I don't
care. Yeah, whatever. Go and
play Fortnite.
Break some houses and build and yeah, whatever.
Do that.
Do that funny dance they'll do.
Yeah.
But in
more
all seriousness,
importantly, yeah. Now we've named Bomb Squad's first ever game of the year, Fortnite.
Whatever, who cares about game of the year?
Yeah.
There's only one thing I care about.
Yeah.
And that is the House Cup.
Winning Quidditch.
Winning the Hogwarts Cup for Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I've got a massive lead. I'm 11-2 up.
Slytherin can always bring it back though.
You're not Slytherin.
Who am I?
Look at the colour of your mic.
Red. Ravenclaw.
Nope. The other one.
Hufflepuff?
That's me.
Gryffindor. Yes! I got it.
So, Hufflepuff currently 11 points. Gryffindor currently 2. It has been a slaughter so far this year.
Yeah.
Now, Andy, can you remind us, what was our bet from last time?
We were going to go on to OpenCritic. We were going to look at the highest rated game of the year, seeing as this is our game of the year thing.
Which was?
Which Resident Evil 2 remake, I believe. And we're going to look at the first review, and we were going to go onto that page, do Control F, and have a look at how many times in the body of the review the word remake came up. And yeah, we were going to see who's closest.
So do you remember what number you guessed?
I guessed 4.
4 times,
I believe.
And my guess was 9.
9, yeah.
Now, I want you to know, I looked at the top review.
Yeah.
I also looked at the second. One down because I wanted to see what kind of like an
aggregate.
An aggregate. Yeah. So the top review was from a site called Eurogamer.
Oh yeah, I know them well.
Eurogamer used the word remake.
Just to confirm, how many points is this worth?
Sorry, of course. This is the final one of the year. This is catching the snitch, the golden snitch. You would know that it's worth 150 points.
150 points. And I was on 2, right?
You were on 2, I was on 11.
Okay.
Eurogamer, I guess 9, you guess 4.
Yep.
Eurogamer used the word remake in their review.
I go on you every day. You can do this. Pull through.
Exactly 4 times. And honestly, it made me so angry because do you know what pissed me off so much?
I feel like crying.
Do you know what pissed me off? They didn't even put the word remake in the title of their review.
Just Resident Evil 2.
Just Resident Evil 2 review. What the fuck? So what I did was I thought I'll just go to the next one. The next one was PC Gamers review.
Yeah.
15 times. 15 times they used the word remake.
Oh, Eurogamer, you have saved me.
Bullshit. So that means that the final score for the Quidditch Hogwarts House Cup is Hufflepuff 11.
Yep.
Gryffindor 152.
And I believe that means I actually win.
Fucking Dumbledore's done it again. He's come in out of nowhere and he's gone, "Oh, Gryffindor, you must. Oh, what more bravery does it take to stand up to your friends?" That's a quote from Harry Potter. So.
Well, that's why they call me Harry the Muggle Muggleton.
I am very upset, but as a Hufflepuff, I'm not going to get too upset about it. I'm deep down. I'm going to be gracious about it, and I'm going to go, well, you know what? At least it wasn't like Slytherin.
Yeah.
So the Hufflepuffs are kind of like, well, kind of bullshit because we were winning the whole year. We were 9 points ahead.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take this with a gracious nod and a cheers.
A cheers.
So we're even one of them.
There we go.
But we will be plotting for 2020. The 2020 House Cup Challenge starts next time.
Yeah, and we're also amending our scoring structure to be more in line with the official.
Of course, because obviously in Quidditch you'd know that scoring a goal or a hoop. Do they call it a goal? I think they call it a goal. The quaffle going through one of the hoops. What's
that
wrong
name
with you?
Every single time that name comes up.
It's worth 10 points. So basically each time that we do a bet, it will be worth 10 rather than 1.
Because we like to talk about random things on this podcast.
Come on.
What did you just call it? A quaffle.
A quaffle.
What's the difference between a quaffle and a snitch? Because don't they call it the golden snitch?
Yeah. Well, the golden snitch is a very small ball. It's probably the size of a golf ball.
Okay.
And it's gold.
Yeah.
And it's got wings and it flies around.
Yeah.
The quaffle is much bigger, kind of more, maybe like a basketball size, maybe it's smaller than that. In the films, it's got like grooves on it so that you could hold it.
Okay.
I don't know if it actually does in the books or not. I don't think so. There's other balls. Those aren't the only balls.
Oh my god.
But the quaffle is just like, there's no magic in it. It's just
a ball which you pick up and throw.
There's 2 other balls.
Okay.
And they're called the bludgers.
The bludgers.
Maybe we should incorporate
I was going to say, I think maybe like every second week we do a bludger goal or a quaffle goal.
Well, yeah, but you sound like a right noob there because you wouldn't score a goal with the bludgers.
Oh my god! Right, we're gonna have to. We're off air. Think more detail, but talk to me. Tell me about them.
Do you want me to tell you about the bludgers?
Yeah. Tell me about them on air.
So the bludgers are smaller than the quaffle, bigger than the snitch. So I would say they're probably the size of maybe like a softball.
Yeah.
So maybe bigger than a softball. And they
like a beach football that's deflated a bit. Do you know the ones you get with like Elsa on them? They're like really floaty balls, and then imagine it's just gone down a bit.
Yeah, I guess so. But you could say that about any ball, couldn't you?
No, but this is better. It's better to imagine Elsa shrinking.
Also, they're really hard.
Oh, okay.
And they will fly about. Yeah,
they fly, but they are magic.
Each team has two. Each team has got certain positions.
Yeah,
you've got chasers who throw the quaffle and try and score.
Yeah,
you've got a keeper who tries to save the goals
on his broom.
Yeah, you've got a seeker who tries to catch the golden snitch.
Harry
was a seeker. And then the 2 other positions are called beaters. And they go around and they've basically got like a rounder's bat. And what they do is they throw and they hit the bludgers at the other team's players to try and make them drop the quaffle or stop catching the snitch or can't save a goal because they were hit by a bludger.
I'm trying to think of a joke about beating meat, but I can't quite get there.
So that's Quidditch, basically.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will off air discuss how we're going to look at bets for 2020 because it's a big year in betting.
Huge year.
I've heard.
I also just thought at the end of this 2019 Game of the Year episode, maybe we should do a year-long bet. And this could be for a side thing.
So this could be for a physical present maybe or something.
Oh, I like that.
Because I'd like to win something next year other than being congratulated by our
apart from the big
huge
the big trophy you've just got.
Well, I know, but that's my glass.
But what I wanted to say was, what do you think is going to be Game of the Year 2020?
100% we're doing this.
Yeah. So, and I think, obviously, there's like a million different things that give out Game of the Years. Like this year's been impossible because everyone, different things have won it. Like IGN was Control, Polygon gave it to Outer Wilds, the Game Awards was Sekiro.
Yeah.
I think we go with Game Awards.
I think so as well. It's the biggest. It's let's be honest. It's the Oscars of the gaming world.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense to go the Game Awards. So, do you want to guess first, or shall I?
Are we doing this now?
Yeah, I say we do it now. We do it. I say we do
Right.
it every Game of the Year when we guess next year.
Okay. I got this. I am going with. Game Awards can be a bit rogue at times. Dragon Age Inquisition's won it before,
but that was the best game that year. So.
Oh yeah, Dragon Age. I'm going with this. Okay, this is going to be the Game of the Year, and CD Projekt Red is not letting us down.
Damn, that's Cyberpunk vote.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Cool. I thought you were going to go Last of Us, so I will pick Last of Us then.
No.
Although part of me wants to pick Doom.
Whoa!
Part of me wants to pick Doom because I think
that would be one of the roguest decisions you've made. I think
because I think Cyberpunk and Last of Us 2, they've got hype,
and
there's so much hype.
They will be divisive. They will be to a degree, just by their nature.
Doom Eternal.
You're doing it.
I've done it.
You've doing it.
Done it.
Remember the way the VGAs work is. It's voted on. I think it's something like either 70 or 80% of the vote is done by a panel of various people across the industry, and then like 10 or 20 or 30% of the vote is a public vote that gets amalgamated together. Cool. Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk 2077. If both of us lose, I don't know what we do. We cry. We'll have a 1 minute crying section. Perfect.
Excellent.
Well, that's that. We've sorted out our Game of the Year bet for next year. I think we won't set up a bet for the next episode. We're gonna our first episode of the year. We're gonna discuss that, and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much as always, Chris. Where can they find us on Twitter?
You can find us at In Dreams Club. You will find tweets from there. You will find
mega tweets.
I've been trying to use GIFs recently when tweeting from it. It will also immediately follow you back if you follow it. So
it's very, very gracious with its
just
followers.
Crack on. Just get in there.
And then please also do go visit www.indreamsclub.com where you can find the podcast and a few nice pictures and hopefully some more in 2020.
There's now an about page.
There's an about
I'll throw that
page.
out there that I added on.
I hope you haven't written mine.
No, I haven't.
Cool.
There was originally some abuse for you on there. But
I did actually see that in the pending.
I took that off and I just
posts.
It's just. But do you know what I did do that I thought was quite clever? I put the about page and I've got Bomb Squad and Realise. And a little blurb about them.
Nice.
If you click on the pictures,
it takes you to
the podcast.
Someone's been practicing their Squarespace.
I have been practicing my Squarespace. We're also sponsored by Squarespace. We're not.
We're not at all.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Type in squarespace.com/indreamsclub and you'll get a 10% discount. And
if you do want to give Andrew abuse on the website, I'll just message me, DM In Dreams Club on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my login and you can just put whatever you want on the website.
Perfect. As always, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I always get this nervous as it was when I was out.
Don't be nervous, boy.
Boy.
Boy.